Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Battle of the All-Stars 2018 here in Hatfield, Pennsylvania, Day 4, the final day of the tournament. Today's stream is brought to you in part by The Apex, www.thederbyapex.com. Find up-to-date news, commentary, and resources at thederbyapex.com, and be sure to follow them on Twitter at @TheDerbyApex for additional Battle of the All-Stars commentary. Thanks again to the Derby Apex for being a broadcast partner. My name is Champ Unkind.
I am the New Jersey Knight, and we are, like you said, Day 4.
Yeah, Day 4 of Battle of the All-Stars, starting out with West Virginia and Tennessee on the track. New Jersey Knight, who we got for Tennessee?
All right, we got Tennessee. We got the captains there, 00, Block Mage, and 027, Cole Hearted. Then we got 04, The Truth, 08, Tipsy, McStaggers, 100, Beast Mode, 151, Bully, Von Beatum, 27, Bushwhacker, 27, Tenacious B, 31, Pop Tart, 480, Quads of Chaos, number 5, Goldie, 54, Lucky Charm, 66, Shank Williams Jr., number 8, Jen Pinion, 81, Xene, and 901, Muse of Bruise. And who do we got on the West Virginia side there, Champ?
For West Virginia, we have number 06, number 111, Day of Reckoning, number 12, Bossy, number 13, Minnie Hurl, number 138, Cupcake Cadaver, number 22, Phyllis Killer, number 23, Tawanda Woman, number 29, Naughty or Nicely, number 3, Liz Vicious, number 311, Sock'em Julia, number 420, Mixplosion, number 333, She Rolls By, number 44, T Cook, number 47, Heart, number 88, Flux, number 888, Malice in Rollerland, and we are about to get started here with T Cook on the jam line for West Virginia.
Going up against number 31, Pop-Tart for Tennessee.
If you missed any of those names, Chad will actually slow it down on the replay.
Yeah, if you didn't know that Champ's previous life, he hawked some Micro Machines back in the 80s.
Yes, absolutely. I had a mustache. All right, back to the action on this first jam. Both jammers inside the pack now, pushing past the pivot line. And yes, Tennessee will have the first lead jammer. That is Pop-Tart.
That is Pop-Tart. She missed the first 2 days. She couldn't get here until Friday evening. And then on Saturday, definitely brought a big oomph to the jamming rotation of Tennessee. A little spin move there on the outside lane.
T. Cook making her way through the pack. Pop-Tart pops out like she's just fresh out of the toaster and picks up 4 points for Tennessee.
You need a Pop-Tart early in the morning, right?
Yeah, well, Pop-Tart and coffee, breakfast of some people.
Of the unchampions.
Of the unchampions. Champ-on-champions.
The unchamps. That's 5 points there for Pop-Tart, 4 on the first pass, 1 in the last pass. As T. Cook was hot on her heels, she called it off.
We're going to Flux Decapitator for West Virginia.
Now looks like number 8, Jen Pinion.
Nobody in the box, no penalties just yet. Of course, it's just over 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Yep, it's about 7:20-something Central Time.
It's usually an hour behind.
Yeah, usually. Tennesseans out there.
Jen Pinion pushing at the front of the pack, getting sandwiched between some West Virginia blockers to the inside. Tiptoes on the apex, and will pick up a second consecutive lead jammer for Tennessee.
Looks like Naughty or Nicely, number 29, on our way to the penalty box.
Flux Decapitator.
Pack advantage here for Tennessee.
Flux Decapitator takes off the star, gets pushed out again at the pivot line, going to have to recycle herself while 5 more points are picked up by Tennessee. Now the outside, Jen Pinion gets pushed out of bounds, and she's going to have to recycle as we're going to have a back block call on Flux Decapitator and our first power jam of the game.
4-on-3 advantage there for Tennessee.
Yeah, West Virginia's come out looking very strong in their last few bouts. They surprised a lot of people by keeping it very close with Maryland. I think you could argue that they are the most improved team of the tournament, but right now the penalties are starting to hurt them early, and Jen Pinion taking advantage of that in the pack one more time. Flux Decapitator standing in the box and now exiting back into play.
Looks like Jen Pinion's going to call that one off. Not before getting another 3 points, total of 13, I believe, for Jen Pinion in Tennessee. 18-0.
That would be our highest scoring jam of the game, but we're only 2 jams in, so I think they can beat that.
I think so too. But also, it is the highest of the day.
Yes, at 8:30 in the morning.
Don't with your logic, all right? Like,
she rolls by, puts on the star for West Virginia.
Quads of Chaos wearing the star for Tennessee.
1 to the inside, 1 to the outside. You can see she rolls by, just pushing and shoving into that Tennessee pack. Looks like a rugby scrimmage out there. As Phyllis Killer heads to the penalty box, Quads of Chaos picks up lead jammer for Tennessee, 3 in a row for Tennessee. As she rolls by, completes her initial pass. Quads of Chaos back in the pack, turns around, gets through. And 4 points for Tennessee, but West Virginia does get on the board with 1 point.
Snuck on by, took 1 point before that 4th whistle.
She rolls by, she sneaks by.
I see what you did there, champ.
Yeah, I hope so. It was more of an audio thing.
No, I saw it too. I see things.
So we have Tawanda Woman and Pop-Tart on the jam line for our 4th jam of the morning. And Pop-Tart just kind of takes a nice little gentle hop towards the inside and picks up lead jammer, 4 in a row now for Tennessee. Tawanda Woman with 2 in front of her, going backwards, getting through, as Pop-Tart pops through for another. I believe that'll be 4 points. Yes, 4 points.
Bringing her total to 9 for the game.
If you're mathing, she scored more than a third of the points so far.
It's too early for math. And I math good, too. It's too early for math.
It's never too early for math. It's always too early for math.
Yeah.
It's either always or never.
Jen Pinion back up for Tennessee. She'll be approaching the line, going up against.
We'll tell you in just a moment. Both jammers inside that pack.
Day-O Reckoning.
Yeah, she has not been one of in the main rotation of jammers for West Virginia, but Jen Pinion picks up another lead jammer, 5 in a row, and all the lead jammers have gone to Tennessee so far. Jen Pinion now inside the pack. Phyllis Killer with a great hit, saying good morning. And there you got number 138, Cupcake Cadaver, with the assist. And the jam is called 1 point.
1 point.
2 points, excuse me. 2 points for Tennessee. 2 points. It's one more than one.
Yes.
Double the one.
T. Cook and Quads of Chaos returning to the line for their respective states. And it looks like West Virginia is going against their rotation. They're broadening the rotation. Over the past couple of days, we've only had, looks like T. Cook Flux.
Yeah,
as the rotation.
And as she rolls by as well.
Rolls by. Now they're adding in Fuse, see what they can do.
Well, they had used Tawanda Woman a little bit earlier in the tournament, but we see Quads of Chaos now getting through for another 6 consecutive lead jammers. T. Cook finds a hole to the inside. She completes the initial pass. Box is empty at the moment. Quads of Chaos approaching the pack. Kind of spread out there with 2 Tennessee blockers in back and 1 West Virginia. Let's see how many Quads of Chaos got. I can tell you already none for Tennessee, but 4.
3?
I'm sorry, 3.
Looks like we got 3 there for Quads of Chaos. Bringing her total to 7.
West Virginia, if they want, it's still very early. There's still plenty of time. They haven't ripped off any big runs yet, but you got to start getting some points on the board. You got to start getting some lead jammers, and it's surprising because West Virginia has been playing so much better than they have in years past.
Right. They are probably the best improved. They are the most improved returning state.
We were talking about it.
Yeah.
The group of announcers, we talk about these things, and West Virginia was pretty much unanimous amongst us as the most improved team this year. Tennessee, we can't put them in the category. This is their first. This is their first year.
There's the most improved returning state, as we haven't seen Saskatchewan or
Kansas, Kentucky. Absolutely.
Oh, first.
West Virginia, our first lead jammer for West Virginia. It is Flux Decapitator of the Ohio Roller Girls, and she gets through completely untouched for 5 points and a grand slam.
Maybe they just needed you to say that there, champ.
They just needed those words of encouragement.
Words of champ?
That they can't technically hear right now.
They can hear you. They can always hear you, champ.
Gets knocked outside, going to have to recycle herself, but Flux already putting a lot more points on the board for West Virginia. The other jammer, Pop-Tart, has not gotten out of the pack yet.
Which is surprising because it was so easy for her first 2 times.
Well, another 4 points for West Virginia. They will hit double digits. It's now 31-10 with about 22 minutes remaining here in the first half of the first game of the 4th day on the 14th day of January of 2018.
And they will send Pinion to the jam line.
I'm actually surprised you pulled that off.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Not impressed, surprised.
What, that I know things? All right, back to the action for our 8th jam.
Jen Penny back up on her toe stops on the inside track. She takes her third lead jam status.
And that sure rolls by for West Virginia, who did win an MVP earlier in the tournament. She rolls by, trying to go up against that 3-wall, finds hole. The inside does get through, but Jen Pinion inside the pack on a scoring pass. West Virginia defense clamping down here and forcing her to call it off.
2 points?
She will get 2 points. Or hook 'em horns. I think that ref is a Texas fan.
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em. Quads of Chaos?
Looks like it. Quads of Chaos winning the star for Tennessee.
And that's Tawanda Woman for West Virginia.
Tawanda Woman. Yeah, I did it.
We do things. And we are doing things brought to us by the Apex.
The Apex.
The Derby Apex.
The DerbyApex.com.
Yeah. For helping us with our stream today. Of course, New England Roller Derby report as well.
Recycling Quads Case all the way to the back end. Looks like we got a penalty on.
That would be Sween of West Virginia. Both jammers still on the outside of the pack. Tawanda Woman trying to get the momentum to the outside, while Chaos to the inside, and both have to go all the way back.
All the way to the back. They get a free try.
So restart. And some defensive jamming there, as Quads of Chaos gives a little love tap to Tawanda Woman.
Just trading a little paint, testing each other out.
Oh, back
block for Quads of Chaos. That's a power jam for rolls by.
Yeah, the penalties have been a problem for Quads of Chaos all weekend.
Tawanda Woman.
So Tawanda Woman with an opportunity here. Remember, neither jammer had gotten through the pack first. Tawanda Woman not getting any help from her blockers, doing it all alone. And she's not finding any room. And Tennessee Tawanda Woman will commit the track cut. Looked like she was trying to be safe, but the foot went in, and she gets called for it.
Yep. That hesitation, I think, caused it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it comes up to the discretion. In that case, the ref saw what she saw and made the call. And Quads of Chaos back in there. That's the initial pass, so we will not have a lead jammer. Took over 90 seconds to get a jammer through the pack on this jam.
Maybe both defenses needed a few minutes to wake up.
I think on that jam, the jammers needed a few minutes to wake up. Don't worry, so do we.
Yeah.
And there's Quads of Chaos and a back block, so another
block.
penalty. But time is winding down, so I think this could actually just benefit
It is going to benefit West Virginia. They will get a power start.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're West Virginia, who do you put out there as your jammer to start?
I would go with T. Cook, but I'm not the coach.
You are not the coach.
I would go with T. Cook. Actually, I would go with any of the three in their main rotation.
Oh, look. They listen to you. See, they hear you. Because T. Cook is out there wearing the star for West Virginia in a power start.
Well, there's going to be an official review first called by Tennessee. I'm going to speculate that it's about the back block call on their jammer, but we will get confirmation of that shortly.
Yes.
Just based on who's in the box and what just happened, when it happened, we can guess.
All right. So as we have a little break here, what do we have later on today, our final day at Battle of the All-Stars?
Well, coming up next, we have this is a fun
game,
one. This is
for you,
for
sir.
someone from Cleveland, Ohio, who's very into college football.
Yes.
Ohio versus Michigan. And you can't see it.
Yeah, but yesterday you
we're not going to talk about that.
A faux pas that he accidentally, unknowingly wore blue and maize. Some Michigan
It was blue
color.
and yellow for West Virginia. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So today I'm wearing scarlet and gray to make up for it. Sorry, Mom. And coming up after that, we have New York, and coming up after that, we have New York.
Looks like we have New York and Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania,
at
yes.
11:50-ish.
One of the big games right
Yes.
there, another one. Followed by Colorado and Massachusetts.
And then the one I'm looking for to Battle of the West Virginia, taking on Maryland around 2:30.
38-10, 18 and a half remaining in the first half.
you saw, maybe go check out that game where he had the overtime jam first thing yesterday.
Once again, we are in an official review. And, of course, today's stream is brought to you in part by The Apex, www.thederbyapex.com. Find up-to-date news, commentary, and resources at thederbyapex.com. And be sure to follow them on Twitter at thederbyapex for additional Battle of the All-Stars commentary. Thanks again to the Derby Apex for being a broadcast partner.
Of that schedule, I just caught word from our head announcer, Kent, the politician, that those semifinal games, New York, Pennsylvania, and the Colorado, Massachusetts, they are the only 40-minute games today.
Yes,
Everything else is a 60-minute, back to your regular 60 minutes.
Yeah, if you're curious about the format, each team's final game, the placement games, the final placing games, will all be 60 minutes. All the tournament play-in, games to get into those final games are still 40 minutes. If we remember back to Thursday and Friday, all the group play games were 30 minutes. So it's a real adjustment for these teams all weekend, shifting time. So we're going to get back. Looks like the call will stand with Quads of Chaos in the penalty box and a power start for T. Cook. Now inside the pack, going up the middle to the outside. Peels off and picks up lead jammer West Virginia. Only their second lead jammer of the game.
First for T. Cook there. She takes the outside track, wrapping around Tenacious B.
Blockers, and tries to jump the apex, but great hit by Beast Mode, sending her back inside.
Beast Mode out of Clarksville Roller Derby there in Tennessee.
And T. Cook inside the pack, splits off, gets through, picks up 5 points at a Grand Slam. Power Jam is over. Quads of Chaos back in there, but going stealth mode. And she'll pass the star very quickly to Cole Hearted. I blinked.
One of your captains there, Cole Hearted.
T. Cook inside the pack, calls it off, but I think, both jammers. 5 points for T. Cook, 4 for Cole Hearted, so she does get some points for Tennessee. I'm sorry, 4 points for, I believe I see that fifth finger wiggling. 4 points.
4 points.
And now look at this jump, and completely denied by Beast Mode on the instant replay. Yeah, that's the risk you take when you jump in Apex.
Yes.
So back to the action now.
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart versus Flux Decapitator, who is lead jammer, but gets taken down by Bushwhacker, and we're going to have another power jam as Pop-Tart goes to the penalty toaster. Flux coming back into the pack, going to the outside, now up the middle. One of the biggest improvements I've seen from Flux Decapitator over the past year, she's always been fast and she's always been agile, but now she's added that third heat to it, the strength.
Yes.
She's been working out really hard. She's putting in a lot of effort, and you can see it on the track. She's added that third factor that really can change a jammer's game.
And it looks like Pop-Tart's ready. She popped out of the penalty box, ready to go, as she gets through on her initial pass on the outside lane. 5 more points for Flux.
10 points right now for Flux already. This is the high-scoring jam for West Virginia. Flux gets through, calls it off. Let's see what she gets. 5 more for West Virginia. Now definitely their highest-scoring jam of the game. And folks at home, we have an 8-point game with just under 16 minutes remaining in the first half. It's all about the momentum, NJ. So it's going to be She Rolls By.
Taking on Jen Pinion.
Nobody in the box for either team at the moment. She Rolls By, goes back. Both jammers inside the pack, just a jumble of humanity out there right now. You see on the outside, Jen Pinion fighting hard as they approach turn 1. Good blocking there by West Virginia. She Rolls By, has an open hole, but it closes as she loses her footing, and Tennessee recovers. A forearm. It's going to be a power jam. She Rolls By.
She had that clearance there, and then forearm called at the last second.
And so we will not have a lead jammer as Jen Pinion completes the initial pass, tiptoes to the inside for another 5-point Grand Slam, Tennessee.
Even though she's not lead, it doesn't doesn't stop her from putting up 5 in the sky for Tennessee.
No, so we'll go the full 2 minutes as well.
Absolutely, cardio time.
Back inside the pack, Jen Pinion on another scoring pass. Goes to the outside, gets pushed out, has to recycle.
That is number 12, Bossy, doing the recycling. Trying to go green for our planet.
Al Gore would approve.
Ah,
She rolls by, takes a hit, stays in bounds. Quads of Chaos with a nasty shoulder.
no, that's not quads.
I'm sorry.
That was Mage.
It's the Mage,
That's one
excuse
of their
me.
captains, block Mage.
Letters are hard. Great move there by Jen Pinion to get through on another 5-point grand slam. She rolls by, rolls through the pack, this time going backwards. That's the initial pass. So a solid 10-point jam so far.
Clockwise block being called right now on Shank.
So the jam comes to a conclusion as time expires. 10-3. I'm sorry, 12-3 on that jam. 54-36. Under 13.5 remaining. Quads of Chaos. Tawanda Woman. I feel like we're repeating what our house colleagues are saying. Tomfoolery and PR Mageddon.
Oh, that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
to help us.
We just repeat what they say.
Yeah, so they better be right.
If we're wrong, blame them.
Totally.
So there is Tawanda Woman to the outside and picking up another West Virginia lead jammer.
Her second lead jam status of the morning.
Quads of Chaos still inside the pack. Tawanda Woman approaching on a scoring pass. Looking for a hole, getting some help from Cupcake Cadaver. Still looking there.
So a multiplayer block there on 06 for West Virginia Sween.
That's her second penalty, I believe, of the game.
Third, I saw her
Third,
twice.
excuse me, thank you. Tawanda Woman going up against Beast Mode, who's done a great blocking job this game. Remember when she denied that big apex jump just a few jams ago. Tawanda Woman now trying to hit the outside, not getting a lot of help here. And forearm penalty on a Tennessee blocker makes it a little easier for Tawanda Woman, who picks up 5 points at a grand slam, but Quads of Chaos out of the pack too. Forces the call off.
Picking up more points. West Virginia 41, Tennessee 54. 12 minutes to go here in the
West
first
Virginia
half.
trying to chip away that lead 5 at a time. We'll do that as we got number 31 Pop-Tart ready to go for Team Tennessee.
And that is Day O Reckoning for West Virginia, putting on the start for the second time. Just as we approach 11.5 remaining, it's only a 13-point game as we go into our 14th jam on the 14th day of January. Yeah, they can't all be winners, folks.
No, they can't.
Pop-Tart inside the pack, trying to find the hole. She's pushing one forward. That would be Liz Vicious. She gets off for lead jammer.
It's by Liz Vicious, takes lead jam status. For the third time, hot on her heels, though, is Day-O.
Day-O Reckoning. Now both jammers in the pack. Day of Reckoning actually laps her up, so she's going to get some points there, but gets pushed to the inside. 4 points for Pop-Tart. But there's definitely points scored by Day of Reckoning. We don't know how many yet. One to beat. Oh, Day of Reckoning. Great deflection for 4 points.
Tenacious B trying the greatest hit in the world. That's just a tribute.
That was a tribute to the greatest block in the world.
I apologize to the folks listening at home for that horrible rendition of tribute.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was like a bad 80s cover band right there.
Well, you know.
Great athletic ability right there.
All right,
West
so
Virginia is going to take a timeout, going to talk things over.
Yeah, remember we got plenty more Derby action coming up, starting next with Ohio and Michigan.
You were so giddy for that.
Oh, I'm so happy for that one. That's going to be a fun one. And then followed by New York and Pennsylvania. Always a great bout. The only 2 winners of the past Battle of the All-Stars facing off in the semifinals this year. So we could potentially have a new champion this year, because in the bout following that, it's Massachusetts versus Colorado. Neither team has won it yet. Colorado participated a few years ago. I believe this is their second Battle of the All-Stars. Massachusetts, this is their 3rd consecutive. and followed by that by Maryland and Virginia.
Battle of the Beltway, which I'm excited for that one.
That's your version of Ohio, Michigan.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to all our officials, skating and non-skating officials, taking care of us all weekend.
And also to our volunteers and to our gracious hosts.
And remember, West Virginia, a lot of people have been asking, what's the difference between this year and last year? And one of the biggest things is that, and
You
a
were
lot of
telling-
people,
yeah, you were
we've been
telling me this
talking
earlier.
about this all weekend, is that many of these teams came together with Beckley area and became West Virginia roller derby. They wanted to become a stronger team, and you can really see how it started as at Battle of the All-Stars, but you can see how that chemistry is working so much better and making them such a better team because they're so much more used to each other. As we get back to the action, Goldie picking up lead jammer and T. Cook right behind her.
Goldie has been having quite the weekend. Every time I look up and there's been a MVP play, Goldie has been doing it.
Goldie untouched so far in the pack, going to call it off. 2 points for Tennessee. Let's see. No points for T. Cook and West Virginia.
Great track awareness there by Goldie. Knew T. Cook was behind her. Got as many points as she could, 2 on the board. 64-45, Tennessee's lead, just under 10 minutes left in the first half.
Flux Decapitator putting on the star for West Virginia.
Jen Pinion is returning for Team Tennessee.
One blocker in a box.
And only 19 points separate the two teams. Plenty of time remaining.
Still anyone's about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see Flux Decapitator one to beat, trying to get away from that last blocker. Looks like she kept the toe. She did not keep the toes in bounds. And Jen Pinion will pick up lead jammer.
That gives Jen Pinion the opportunity to capture her 4th lead jam status. She
Oh.
is also your point leader with 29 points.
Nasty hit on Flux Decapitator. Going to send her back all the way to turn 3. Have to recycle herself, but Jen Pinion kind of just experienced the exact same thing.
Right. Being recycled by Naughty or Nicely, very nicely recycling her to the back.
Jen Pinion through the pack again. That was 4 points. And Jen Pinion just going to call it off, not risk it.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you want to chop as much time off the clock as possible, but you don't want to risk maybe a point
Yeah, and if you
getting
can,
through before that 4th whistle.
absolutely. So 4 points there, now 68-45, about 8.5 remaining here in the first half. Plenty of time remaining. She rolls by with the star for West Virginia.
Pop-Tart wearing the star for Tennessee.
One to the inside, one to the outside.
As Shaw recycled all the way to the back.
And Pop-Tart pops through for lead jam, barely staying in bounds, but there, okay, she does. She had to fight physics on that one, but it paid off. She rolls by, just as it looks like she's about to get through, keeps getting, just the Tennessee blockers keep recovering.
Toe stops on the outside track. Shaw rolls by through her initial pass.
Pop-Tart pops through, picks up a quick, I believe that's 4, yes, 4 points, and then calls it off.
Derby 101, 4 and out. It's on the first page.
Tawanda Woman, Quads of Chaos will be our jammers of note on the next jam, our 18th jam. And it's only 8:45 if you live in the Eastern time zone of the United States or Canada. Welcome and good morning, and we hope you have your coffee.
I had my coffee.
I have monsters for later.
Oh, God.
Quads of Chaos gets pushed to the inside. Tawanda Woman looking for a hole up the middle. Quads of Chaos now trying to get into that 4-wall of West Virginia. Beast Mode.
Beast Mode trying to help her out
Yeah.
there. And she does.
Effective.
3rd lead jam status for Quads of Chaos. Sometimes you just need a little help from your friends.
Yeah, Beast Mode holding the door open very politely, but
Yes.
yeah. Some of that southern hospitality.
Yeah. See-ho, Dork.
Oh, Quads of Chaos. A back block going to send her to the box. That's a problem she's had all
That's
weekend.
a 3rd back block in this game.
Yeah.
Looks like Tenacious B on her way to the penalty box as well. I did not get the call. But that is a 5-on-3 pack advantage for West Virginia. Let's see if Tawanda can close up some of the lead that Tennessee has created.
Tawanda Woman looking for that hole up the middle.
She also has the star in her hand, so star stash.
Stealth mode, yeah. She's playing it very patient here. We're going to go the full 2 minutes because of the power jam. Tawanda Woman does complete the initial pass, but Quadzicast already standing in the box, so good defense by Tennessee. As Tawanda Woman now re-engages with the pack as Quadzicast plays a little defensive jamming there. Box is empty.
And Tenacious D also released from the penalty box. We were at full strength, 5-on-5.
I thought you were about to say Tenacious D released a new CD. I was about to be really excited there. So both jammers now have to recycle.
And Quadzicast on her way back to the penalty box. I think that's number 4.
That is number 4. So, and we're not even in the second half yet.
Right, so
she's already passed the 50%
right,
mark.
She is one of your head jammers for Tennessee. When you have that many penalties, they kind of pull you back.
True, but at the same time, the other jammers for Tennessee have been very effective.
Absolutely.
And they've been able to make up for the penalties. So how this will impact them going forward, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how they adjust, what they're going to do with Quadzicast. Are they going to use her more as a blocker, hold her back a little more, make some adjustments?
Well,
you don't want to lose anybody.
Right. Goldie has been a prominent jammer in their rotation. T. Cook is all kinds of happy.
T. Cook playing surprise jammer.
What? Me?
Me? I'm the jammer. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Like she wins an award. She's wearing gold.
She did take a big hit there. She does not look happy about it. She looks really happy to get on the track and then immediately changed her facial expression after that hit.
I regret my decisions.
Why did I put the star on? 1 to beat for T. Cook. She does get through for lead jammer. Quadzicast is back out there.
Just as Bully Von Beatum makes her way to the penalty box.
Some defensive jamming there by T. Cook as she gets back in the pack. Good footwork fighting that 3-wall. Oh, Mage. That's some magical blocking there. Critical hit.
Yes. Those little shoulder pops.
Yeah. I believe she rolled a 20 on that one. Quadzicast star in hand. But not fooling anyone. Going to have to recycle back behind the jam line. T. Cook on another scoring pass, trying to rip through and get past the last blocker. She does. 4 points. West Virginia. That was the first 4 points on the board of the jam. So great defense again by Tennessee. T. Cook now back in the pack on another scoring pass. Star still in hand for, I'm sorry, the star has been passed.
That is number 00, Block Mage, one of your captains there.
And unfortunately, her spells are not being very effective against this pack as T. Cook's spells are doing some magic as she's able to stay in bounds, but Mage completes the initial pass. Let's see what T. Cook does here. Calls it off. She does get the full 4. So 13 points total. That was actually her second scoring pass the other time, excuse me. 13 points total for West Virginia. I believe that's the second highest scoring jam of the game for West Virginia. Now,
I believe you're correct.
74-62 as we approach 2.5 minutes remaining. Only 12 points. So much back and forth momentum in this game. We've seen this all weekend long in so many of these West Virginia games.
Just as Tennessee's getting ready to pull away, West Virginia's like, here, hold my beer.
West Virginia is one of these teams that when they get hot, they get very hot, and they will just go on these runs and take the momentum. But the problem is when they cool down, and the other team can get that momentum right back. We saw it against Maine. We saw it against Maryland. If they can adjust here at halftime or in the end of this first half, they're going to be great with that. Yeah, and one of the reasons, we talk about how a lot of these teams came together with Beckley to become West Virginia Roller Derby. Another thing, and that's something that I've actually personally seen firsthand, is Morgantown Roller Derby, their improvement, which has been off the charts. They played Akron in August, and there was a very big score difference there.
No need to say what the score was.
It
was sizable.
They go to Rose City. Their B team, I believe, plays Rose City's B team. They do some stuff with Rose City. And they come back in November. They go to the River Valley Riot Tournament hosted by the Ohio Valley Roller Girls. They came in as the 7th seed. They finished as a 3, and I believe they moved up about 70-something spots in the rankings thanks to that tournament because they beat teams so far ahead of them. There was some huge shift between then and now, and that's the second half of that West Virginia All-Star story of why they have improved so much. It has been great to see. And there is Flux Decapitator with the star against Jen Pinion of Tennessee.
Pinion? I could not see there was a zebra in my way.
And we're not even at the zoo.
All right.
Flux Decapitator picks up lead jammer for West Virginia.
That is her second lead jam status. She is West Virginia's point leader.
Wow, look at that speed to get
24 and going higher.
That speed. She got so low and so quick.
Fast.
Like I said before, Flux has added that third heat and that great footwork. She's going to just call it off instead of trying to get up, instead of taking the risk. She will get 2 more points, though. So she did pass 2 inbounds. 69-74, 5 points, a grand slam, now separating these two teams.
Under 2 minutes left in the half.
And we see on the replay, Flux coming in and just, yeah, you can see there was a little bit of an apex hop, but she got pushed out, did not want to risk it, just took those 2 points and called it off, playing it clean.
Pop-Tart back out there for Tennessee.
That sure rolls by for West Virginia. Pop-Tart is through the pack.
That is her 5th lead jam status, working with 13 points.
So she rolls by, picks up lead jammer, or she rolls by through the pack. Yes, and whoever commented on that, we are aware that was a completely different roster, A teams and B teams, but the point was that they practiced and they learned some things and they took it back and they were able to utilize that in a tournament and did a fantastic job. So we see things too.
All right, looks like we have Tenacious B reporting box. I believe that was for blocking after the whistle. It looked like it was a legal procedure.
Legal procedure there for Tenacious B. She's on her way to the penalty box. Each team down a blocker as Goldie wearing a star for Tennessee.
Goldie, 3-wall, 1 in the box for everyone. Tawanda Woman.
And her helmet cover fell off.
And West Virginia's like, no.
No, you don't get
No,
that
you don't
back.
get. You don't want. We're not going to let you get that
No,
back.
this is mine now.
And Tawanda Woman is lead jammer.
That's her 3rd.
Yeah, only 6 points separating the two. Tawanda Woman. Oh, it looked like she was kind of thinking about jumping the apex there, but instead goes outside to get 4 points. No points for Cole Hearted.
2-point game, 75-73 in Tennessee's favor as we go to half. That perked up.
Yeah, so 2 points. Tennessee started on a pretty strong run.
It was 18-0 there at the beginning.
But like we've seen in this tournament, teams can come back, and they are doing a great job. West Virginia here of just clamping down and playing. They had a few penalty problems at first, and it seems that they've started to smooth things out. Maybe it's because it's first game in the morning.
So early.
You're still a little kind of waking up a little bit, getting stretched out, getting ready. So but now we're seeing a much closer game, 2 points, and
that's what we like to see. Peps us too.
Yeah, we seem to get the greatest games every day, or the first games are some of the best. I mean, yesterday we had the overtime, and
right.
So we're gonna take a little break here.
A little under 10-minute halftime there, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes with the conclusion of this game. All right, welcome back. We are returning to West Virginia, Tennessee. Tennessee with a 2-point lead. Just going to take a quick note here. Today's stream is brought to you by the Derby Apex, thederbyapex.com. Find up-to-date news, commentary, and resources at thederbyapex.com, and be sure to follow them on Twitter at the Derby Apex for additional Battle of the All-Stars commentary. Thanks again to the Derby Apex for being a broadcast partner.
Absolutely, and if you are just waking up, you are watching Tennessee and West Virginia on Battle of the All-Stars 2018, the final day. This is the final game for both teams, determining where they will finish. The winner, we're looking up on our little cheat sheet right now. The winner, well, there's no numbers on here, so we'll figure that out later.
This is looks like for third place of the third place bracket. Is that a way of saying things? It's a complicated tournament to explain. If you looked at it, you're like, I get it.
Have you ever seen basketball?
And the round robin potato sack race will be on the third Sunday of the month.
All right, so we're going to get back here. Just a moment. Remember, coming up next, we do have Ohio and Michigan, my personal favorite.
You're going to go nuts there.
Oh, it's going to be
got to be
fun.
professional there, champ.
I will be on the house for that, so you might hear me screaming over the microphone. All right, back to the action. T. Cook with the star for West Virginia.
Pop-Tart wearing a start for Tennessee.
Well, Pop-Tart is a great way to start the day. That's how they started the day with the first jam of the game, and now to start off the second half the same way. I guess some people miss breakfast because T. Cook is now lead jammer for West Virginia.
That is T. Cook's third, and I was going to say that is this is a rematch of the very first jam of the game and of the day.
Yeah, T. Cook actually has not won an MVP yet of this tournament, but she has definitely been in the conversation every single time.
Every single time, yes.
And she gets through there, calls it off. She will get the full 4, and for the first time, we have a lead change. 77-75. Now West Virginia on top thanks to T. Cook and a 4-point jam to start the second half. That's a great way to start the second half. Take the momentum for the first. You didn't let it slow down, and you go.
Jen Pinion wearing the star for Tennessee. She's going to try to get that lead back. You can see it.
Flux Decapitator for West Virginia. Now, both jammers inside the pack and to the inside or outside.
Outside with no. Oh, excuse me. I thought that was just.
Yeah, she looked like she was untouched, but she actually committed a back block. So now it's a power jam for West Virginia, helping them out early this morning. And Flux Decapitator almost finds the hole, but Tennessee closes it. Now she does. Lead jammer West Virginia. Effective blocking by Tennessee takes a few seconds off that power jam, though. Flux coming back into the pack, picking up speed. Look at the inside. Oh, does not stay in bounds. Has to recycle all the way back
Cold-hearted with the recycle there.
Cold-hearted, very good blocker. And the power jam comes to a close. Jen Pinion completes the initial pass very quickly. And let's see what she does. Flux calls it off. 4 points, though, for West Virginia, adding a little bit more to their now brand new lead.
And with that is Flux Decapitator. She is your point leader for the whole game, not just for West Virginia.
Wow.
35 points according to the official, unofficial stats that are rarely official.
Yours are better than mine, because you actually write it down.
That means nothing. Goldie wearing a star for Tennessee.
That's what my brain is for. That is she rolls by for West Virginia. Both jammers inside the pack. And there is she rolls by pushing forward into that Tennessee 3-wall. Mage bridging the pack, and she rolls by one to beat, cannot stay in bound.
Bushwhacker with a massive hit. That's going to be recycled all the way to the back. Great defense there. Looks like Quads of Chaos will be on the defensive end.
Mage takes the star, but can't find the magic. She rolls by to the outside, gets low, gets through, and she already was lead jammer before getting reabsorbed.
Of all of Sherol's by's jamming, that is her first lead jam status.
For a great block Oh, and a track cut. Ansha rolls by. Yeah, that was, she got pushed out and did not even attempt to come back in cleanly. So that is a textbook track cut. And Mage now with an opportunity and 5 points. It will go the full 2 minutes.
1 point lead now, 81 to 80.
And I think that's about to change.
I smell a lead change coming.
Phyllis Killer one-on-one against Mage and is effective. She has to recycle.
About 30 seconds left on the jam clock.
They're going all the way back past turn 3, and now that killed a good amount of time on that power jam. Mage on a scoring pass again. Phyllis Killer, the blocker of note, really doing some damage, but she's through for 5 points at a Grand Slam as she rolls by. Gets 4 points. So now we're tied with time winding down. Oh, what happened? Let's see. Does she roll by, get anything? Yes, one. So West Virginia will hold on by 1. Wow. And that was a big hit for that 1 point. Worth it. Nailed it. 25 minutes remaining, 86-85 as we go into our 4th jam. Tawanda Woman with the star for West Virginia.
Pop-Tart for Tennessee.
1 to the inside and 1 to the outside. Now you see them both going up the middle. Pop-Tart looks like she's about to get through. Can't she? She does. She is lead jammer.
That is her 6th lead jammer for the game, working with 14 points.
And good moves there by Tawanda Woman to stay in bounds on the hit. But Tennessee's defense and Tennessee's offense untouched. Pop-Tart, 5 points for Tennessee.
Another lead change. Oh, let's do a lead change every minute. I'll be fine with that.
You get a lead change. You get a lead change. And there goes Tawanda Woman completing the initial pass. But 4 points for Pop-Tart, going to add just a little bit more to that Tennessee lead. Pop-Tart is done, calls it off. 9 points total, 94-86. Tennessee now back on top.
Now we have an 8-point lead as Jen Pinion looks to add to that 8-point lead. She'll be taking on.
That would be Day-O Reckoning.
Day-O
Reckoning. Day-O comment, she wants lead jammer.
doesn't particularly rhyme, but
it doesn't rhyme, but I wasn't trying. Both jammers inside the pack, they're definitely trying.
Oh, beast mode. Every time I see West Virginia fall very, very hard,
it's always beast mode. Every time. Works 60%. Well, no, that just works about every time.
Yeah.
Day-O Reckoning is through, though. Lead jammer, West Virginia.
That's Day-O Reckoning's first lead jam status. Let's see what she can do with it.
Yeah, so she's about 1 for 3, as she's only been the jammer of note 3 times, starting with the star. Pinion still inside the pack. Now Day-O Reckoning on a scoring pass. Just as Jen Pinion
and beast mode goes down, a rare feat.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
It's getting back to beast mode. 4 points for West Virginia, closing the gap just a little bit with plenty of time remaining.
Goldie wearing a star for Tennessee.
She's going up against T. Cook of West Virginia.
T. Cook working with 26 points.
1 in the box for West Virginia. That is Bossy.
1 blocker in the box for West Virginia.
One of your West Virginia captains.
They approach the pivot line. And here we go on our 6th jam of the half. Goldie at the front, 1 to beat. She's through, lead jammer.
Her 2nd of the game.
And we have a high block on T. Cook, so it's going to be a power jam for Tennessee. Big opportunity here for Goldie as she's now back inside the pack. Only 2 to beat, 1 to beat. Stays in bounds. 5 points at a Grand Slam, Tennessee, as Beast Mode has the penalty box for Tennessee. Goldie now back inside the pack, in behind her blockers, looking for that hole up the middle. Trying to split the 2-wall. Now heading into turn 4. That is a very spread out pack, and 5 points on a grand slam for Tennessee. We now have our first team crossing the century mark. T. Cook back in bounds. Power jam is over. You see that hair all over the place with T. Cook. As T. Cook won to beat, loser footing, but does... No, she does not get through. So another 4-point pass for Goldie.
For Goldie, as Tenacious B makes her way to the penalty box.
Star pass from T. Cook. That goes to Nadir Nicely, who was MVP in the last West Virginia game. She completes the initial pass. And Goldie calls it off. She'll pick up. Let's see if she got any more.
Did she get any points on that?
No, in fact, I see the jam ref. Looks like she may have been calling a penalty. No, she was not. Excuse me. That is another 4 points. Yeah, 18-point jam for Goldie, expanding that lead to 22 points. There was no penalty. Excuse me. It's Flux Decapitator and Pop-Tart.
2 blockers in the box for Tennessee, 1 for West Virginia.
So pack advantage for West Virginia. Flux Decapitator trying to use that agility to her advantage and that strength, but Quads of Chaos with a great block. Good position, though, by... Oh, and it looks like we have a power jam just as Flux Decapitator gets out of the pack. Pop-Tart hits the box.
Flux Decapitator, 4th leaf jam status, and a nice pick there by Phyllis Killer.
Loses her footing, gets through, though, stays in bounds, and that's 5 points at a grand slam.
Yes, your point leader, Flux. And in a situation like this, West Virginia wants that point leader. She wants to add to her point total. She wants to add to West Virginia's point total, swallow up some of that lead.
Tennessee swapped almost every single player out of the box, in and out of the box on this jam as Pop-Tart gets out.
As they're continuing to do so, Cole Harder on her way to the penalty box.
And Flux Decapitator, that was not, okay, no, there was a no pass, no penalty. So she will get 4 points on that pass and 9 points total on the jam. Okay, 8 points on the jam. Excuse me, yeah, it was 3 points, not 4 points on that last pass. So 8 points total, 98-112. Tennessee on top, under 19 minutes remaining. She rolls by ya. And Tennessee's going to take a timeout. So remember, coming up next, we got Ohio and Michigan, followed by Pennsylvania and New York for, that is a semifinal matchup, followed by
a 40-minute game.
40-minute game, correct, followed by another 40-minute game of Colorado versus Massachusetts. Of course, Massachusetts came in as a number 2 in their group, but they were able to beat the number 1 Michigan and take that number 1 into the tournament play, into the bracket play. So they will be that 1 seed, winning their last game also, and now they will be playing for the championship against Colorado. That is no easy task.
No.
Colorado has looked very, very tough from top to bottom, that entire team. It's going to be tough, but hey, Massachusetts has surprised a lot of people this year.
Definitely, I won't say surprised. It's just we knew they can do that.
We knew it all along, yeah. But for example, Massachusetts and Maine always play very close because they're very familiar with each other. But this tournament, they just blew the doors off of that game and rocked it, and they've really performed better, I mean, as well or better than we thought they would, and they've really kind of been the Cinderella story of the tournament so far.
Jen Penning wearing the star.
And that is she rolls by for West Virginia. Jen Pinion gets pushed out. She rolls by, loses her footing, and gets pushed out. And it's Jen Pinion through first. Lead jammer Tennessee, but she rolls by, completes the initial pass about maybe not a lot of room behind her.
No.
Maybe a few feet. And she rolls by, definitely gaining speed. Jen Pinion looks like she's not aware of the other jammer's position.
She is now.
Well, the whole pack is definitely now. I mean, this is going really fast.
Jammer race. Who doesn't love a good jammer race?
Oh, yeah. And jammer on jammer defense is terrific. There's a little bit of tapping there, but no one's even getting into the pack. Jen Pinion forced to call it off. No points for anyone.
All that work, all that speed, and all that speed and grace.
I think they were just trying to complete their 27-5.
Oh yeah, it's a good time to do it.
In the middle of an All-Star game.
Middle of a battle, the All-Star game.
By the way, we're doing a skills test now.
All right, cool. They all pass. Pop-Tart wearing the star once again for Tennessee.
That is Tawanda Woman for West Virginia.
Tawanda Woman.
And we're going to have an official timeout. This time will be officially out to do official things officially.
It's so out.
Officially. So remember, folks, today's stream is brought to you in part by the Apex, www.thederbyapex.com. Find up-to-date news, commentary, and resources at thederbyapex.com. And be sure to follow them on the Twitter at the Derby Apex for additional Battle of the All-Stars commentary. Thanks again to the Derby Apex for being a broadcast partner. Of course, we want to thank New England Roller Derby Report, doing a fantastic job bringing those games to you all weekend long. Of course, Chad is doing double duty also as an announcer, doing a lot of the main games. Chad can't hear me, but we're saying good things about him. He waved, but you can't see that.
Yeah. I mean, we could say bad things about it. Ooh, let's say bad things. He can't hear us.
Speaking of saying bad things, we should say hello to KVD in Virginia, our esteemed colleague.
If he is up and ready, he probably isn't. Hello there, KVD.
Hello, KVD. And if he's not, wake up.
Yeah, wake up.
Wake up and watch us.
Hashtag hard fart. I had to get one in.
So there's two blockers in the box right now for Tennessee.
Wanda Chaos returning. I think that is her fifth.
I believe you were right.
All right, so it looks like there's some work with the officials. We'll get clarification in a moment.
Apparently, a jammer for West Virginia is going to the box.
Nothing like Derby in the morning, NJ. It's better than coffee.
Especially a close game like this.
Smells better than coffee. I don't know about that.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
coffee smells very good.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like there's being a penalty, and it's being assessed onto Sherrolls by. So it will be a power start for Tennessee. 112.98. That's a big power jam now for Tennessee.
Absolutely.
Big opportunity here to kind of take a little bit more of that lead. You know, we haven't seen the truth jamming for Tennessee either.
The truth at all.
The truth is not out there.
No, the truth is not out there, and it has not been set free.
That is, Fox Mulder would be a little bit disappointed.
Oh, as disappointed as I am with the new season of X-Files?
I stopped watching.
I think you stopped at a good point.
I stopped when it ended the first time. Because I believe in original television. Okay, anyways, back to Pop-Tart is the jammer on this power start for Tennessee, and she'll pick up lead jammer.
Her seventh. She's going to make it count here, working with 23 points.
Back inside the pack. Sherrolls by is standing, so the power jam will end momentarily. Oh, Pop-Tart takes a hit, goes down. Sherrolls by out of the box. And Sherrolls by with another track it, so we're going to have another power jam.
And also the pivot for West Virginia. Also, Cole Harder on her way to the penalty box. All the penalty box.
And now it's going to be another power jam for a back block on Pop-Tart.
That is what we call the Jeremy Irons reversal of fortune. As jammer switch for jammer.
Yeah, Sherrolls by back out. There wasn't a very long power jam, so it's not going to be long for Pop-Tart either. Sherrolls by through the pack. That is the initial pass. Beast Mode calling in Tenacious B. Both jammers inside the pack, one to the inside, one to the outside. Sherrolls by. Looks like she kind of thought she may have been lead jammer there for a moment. Then realizes she's not, and we don't have a lead jammer.
No.
It's like the Matrix. There is no lead jammer.
There is no lead jammer or no spoon. 20 seconds left on the jam clock to go in the full 2.
Oh, West Virginia all over the place. She rolls by.
Another track cut, very rare track cut twice for Pop-Tart in the same jam.
Yeah, I believe the FDA considered it a dirty or a unclean action, so she'll go to the penalty toaster. A recall on Pop-Tarts.
I get it. I saw you were working. You're trying to get that in your
head. You know, if it was like 2 hours later, that would have just flowed right out of my brain.
So this is quite a big power start for West Virginia. Who do they have up there for it?
That would be Flux Decapitator. Now both teams have crossed the century mark after that jam. 116-103 about as we are heading into the fourth and final quarter of the bout.
You want the point leader for West Virginia, and that is what she is, 43 points.
Call out the big guns. Flux Decapitator having some trouble hitting 88 miles an hour, but there she does. But a no pass, no penalty, so she will not be lead jammer.
Not lead jammer.
Flux now back inside the pack, moving to the inside, tiptoeing, staying in bounds as the power jam comes to a close. Flux able to tiptoes, stay in bounds there, and a great apex jump by Pop-Tart.
Swan-like, actually.
I believe the spring of the toaster boosted her over the pack. Pop-Tart popped. Yeah, literally that just happened.
5 points added to West Virginia's total, closing it to a single-digit lead, 8 points for Tennessee.
It's been so much back and forth with this momentum, but every time either West Virginia gets a little bit ahead or so close, something happens that kind of slows them down and gives it right back to Tennessee, but then West Virginia takes it back again. And
Pop-Tart's going to stay out there.
Pop-Tart keeping the helmet on, the helmet cover on, and there is Tawanda Woman for West Virginia, excuse me. Phyllis Killer trying to open up the hole for her jammer.
Power start for Tawanda Woman, or Power Jam, actually.
So that's another penalty in as many jams.
She has been very penalty-free, then all of a sudden, penalties started racking up for Pop-Tart.
Well, they were trying to give her more work as Quads of Chaos is already in foul trouble. But now it seems to be happening to Pop-Tart as well. Tawanda Woman with an opportunity here really to have a huge impact on this game. One to beat, and she is through for lead jammer, but good defense by Tennessee because Pop-Tart is already standing in the box. Comes to a close. Tawanda Woman only on her first scoring pass.
Nice spin move on the outside lane there. Pop-Tart is through for her initial pass.
Tawanda Woman forced to call it off due to the positions. Let's see what she got.
She got a few points in there, maybe?
Looked like she should have gotten a few, but the referees are conversing. Yeah, referees confirming. They're counting, and she will get 2 points. So closing in a little bit, 6 points, 12 and a half remaining. Doable.
Very. Jen Pinion wearing the star for Tennessee, taking on.
I believe that is Day O Reckoning for West Virginia. Which means you have to say.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one making a jerk of myself this morning.
I will always make a jerk if someone's making a jerk with me.
You got my back, NJ. Jen Pinion is lead jammer.
6th for her, working with 33 points. She's your point leader for Tennessee.
Dale Reckoning taking off the star. Looked like she was going to pass it to Phyllis Killer. Now not passing it. Now is passing it. Now decides to pass it to Phyllis Killer, who is now the jammer for West Virginia. 4 points for Jen Pinion, and yeah, she's just going to call it off as Phyllis Killer heads into the pack.
Jen Pinion up to 37 points, and Tennessee up to 120, 10-point lead. Official timeout there. Zebras are going to talk about zebra things.
I don't know what zebra things would be. Don't forget, everybody, today's stream is brought to you in part by the Apex, www.thederbyapex.com. Find up-to-date news, commentary, and resources at thederbyapex.com. And if you do so, be sure to follow them on Twitter at @thederbyapex for all additional Battle of the All-Stars commentary. And, of course, thanks again to the Derby Apex for being our broadcast partner. Champ on Con this morning is brought to you by coffee. Coffee.
You gotta love it.
You gotta love it, or you need it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Remember, we got so much more Derby action today. Team Ohio, Team Michigan coming up next. If you are a college sports fan, or really a sports fan in general, that is, of course, a great one. Two states, the only two states, fun fact, the only two states that have ever actually declared war over each other because neither one wanted Toledo.
And if you're from
Look
Toledo,
it up. Look it up.
Oh, I know exactly about that.
Not a joke.
Nope, they didn't want that little part where they connect. If you're Toledo, how do you feel about that? We got Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart back out again.
But it's T. Cook, lead jammer.
That's her fourth, working with 26 points. Pop-Tart about a half a track behind her.
Now moving to quarter. Yeah, she's gaining speed there on her. T. Cook entering the pack. Let's see what she does. Pack positional advantage to Tennessee, and it forces the call off thanks to a great block by Beast Mode.
Yes. Nothing. Bowling frame.
Not at all.
I haven't seen you bowl champ, but I assume that's a champ bowling frame.
I granny roll it. It's actually effective. I get made fun. I don't care. It's effective.
For West Virginia.
We got a blocker aside in the penalty box, 3-on-3 pack.
Quads of Chaos back in the penalty box.
And it is going to be Flux Decapitator and Goldie. So Goldie is through the pack and picks up lead jammer for Tennessee.
That is her third.
Goldie through the pack, getting past her blockers and picking up 5 points in a grand slam for Tennessee. With time winding down, star pass complete to number 29 of West Virginia.
Or nicely.
Well, it was a nicely done star pass.
It is.
But Goldie gets pushed out of bounds by number 13, Minnie Hurl.
Better little move there by Bossy, trying to get a little extension on Goldie. Goldie wise enough to take her time to get in.
Just everybody all over the place. Goldie has already scored points, and now on another scoring pass, she will get through past Flux Decapitator for another 5-point grand slam, bringing the total to 10 on this jam.
Can't say enough. Every time Goldie's out there, seems to make a difference in the game. Now looking to get another scoring pass.
Naughty or Nicely still has not been able to complete that scoring pass, and you see Quads of Chaos holding their back, and another 5-point grand slam for Goldie.
Goldie is kind of their secret weapon. Every time she's out there, she's quite effective. Finally, nicely threw her for her initial pass as she puts the star
Kind of on.
It's half on, half off.
Well, as long as it stays on there.
Right.
It's a fashion statement.
Yes.
One more point for Goldie, so 16-point jam, 136-110 with just over 9 minutes remaining. Remember, this is the final game for both of these teams at Battle of the All-Stars 2018. Final games for each team are 60 minutes long. So our following bout will also be 60 minutes long. But then the following two games will be the 40-minute games as they are our semifinal matchups. Pennsylvania versus New York, the classic championship rivalry of Battle of the All-Stars, now taking place in the semifinals. So there is a 50-50 shot. We are going to have at least a 50-50 chance, if you're not looking at the Vegas odds, that we will have a new champion this year.
One of them will run into the winner of Colorado and Massachusetts.
Of course, Pennsylvania's won this 3 times, but New York last year took it for their first. So Battle of the All-Stars, Battle of the Champions, as we have now a team timeout taken by West Virginia. Of course, West Virginia, we've talked about this all tournament long, the announcers. We've kind of agreed that West Virginia is the most improved returning team of the tournament. Of course, it's hard to judge that based on teams like Tennessee or Kentucky, Kansas, the newer teams that have not been Saskatchewan. But West Virginia has looked so impressive this year. Holding Maryland to under 100 points and staying within less than 10 points. I believe there was a 7-point game they lost by, but they led for most of it. Then following that with a big win over Kentucky, but then losing to Maine. It's such a back-and-forth game, very similar to this one. It finished just a few points with a difference. West Virginia, of course, their teams have done some realigning in the state. West Virginia roller derby is now a thing. Much stronger team. As well as some improvements by other teams like Morgantown, which have put in a lot of work over the year and made real leaps, strides. and great improvements. So West Virginia, watch out for these teams, everybody. You're going to be hearing a lot about them in the next year to come.
He had 26-point lead for Tennessee as we're waiting to get back to action.
Someone's arguing with us, but we disagree.
Yes.
That my producer is does not have a microphone on, but of course he has the mute button as well. So I'm just going to not say anything. We're just going to agree to disagree.
Right.
He would argue that Massachusetts is the most improved team. However, Massachusetts always has a little bit higher expectations for that team. So I think they're performing right where they should be. But they did have the great upset when they are the Cinderella story, now playing for a championship. We can't argue with that. Massachusetts absolutely playing a great tournament as well. Now take your finger off the mute button because we're back to the action.
Jen Pinion and
that is Phyllis Killer putting on the star initially for the first time for West
Jen
Virginia.
sneaks on through. Your Tennessee point leader with 37 points.
Phyllis Killer getting really low really fast, but goes out of bounds, going to have to recycle.
Jen Pinion sneaks on through, breaks on through to the other side, Jim Morrison style. She puts up 5 points up in the sky, expanding Tennessee's lead.
Phyllis Killer through on the initial pass. Jen Pinion, a little bit of an apex hop through the pack, picking up 4 more points. Excuse me, yeah, 4 more points for Tennessee. Pinion into the pack, gets taken out, calls it off. 1 point picked up by West Virginia, none for Tennessee on that last pass. What Tennessee starting to pull away here with time winding down. Now a 34-point differential. Still time left, but every time they get that lead jammer, they get a few more points. It just becomes that much harder. So Pop-Tart with a star again for Tennessee because sharing is not caring.
T. Cook for West Virginia.
Yeah, T. Cook looking for that hold, just trying to get into her own pack to find the hold. Yes, she does. Lead jammer, West Virginia and T. Cook, but Pop-Tart.
Literally breathing on the back of her neck is Pop-Tart.
Any closer, and I mean, you'd have to put a ruler between the two. And now they're kind of just toe and step and toe, however that phrase is. Just coming in the pack, and T. Cook is forced to call it off. No points for anyone.
7 minutes left in the game. 145 Tennessee, 111 West Virginia. Goldie returning to the line for Tennessee every time she's come up. Good things have happened.
Well, Tawanda Woman will be her challenger on the jam line as we have one in the box for West Virginia. That's Flux Decapitator, who is the pivot. Goldie comes in. It looks like she almost got through, but then a little hit from Phyllis Killer stops her, and it is Tawanda Woman through first lead jammer, West Virginia.
That is the 5th lead jam status for Tawanda Woman. Took advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been pretty successful. That Tawanda Woman to the inside. Does she stand bounds? Looks like she does. She's through. And that is 5 points and a grand slam for West Virginia. Of course, we're not trying to take anything away from Team Massachusetts. They have been, they are playing for a championship. They came in as a 2 and are now playing as a 1 of their bracket. But same time, when you look at how these teams have kind of come together, difference from year to year, West Virginia has had a lot of improvement from top to improvement.
We have Pinion. One blocker in the box for Tennessee.
New Englanders will always defend each other. They root for the same football team.
Jen Pinion wearing the star for Tennessee.
So both inside.
Shaw rolls by.
Yeah, she rolls by, both trying to get through there as we approach 5 minutes remaining. Hop, skip, and a jump by. She rolls by. The track cuts have been a problem for her. Let's see if she does get through clean. She does.
She does, but Jen Pinion is the lead jammer
Barely.
on record by
Oh, hi there. How
nose
are you?
hair.
Oh, hey there. How are you? I don't know. Good morning. Call it off. No points for anyone again, which of course helps Tennessee because they're in the lead.
Yes. Just under 5 minutes left. Score remains the same, 145, 116.
Time is most certainly on Tennessee's side here, but two good jams, and they're right back. And West Virginia can come right.
Let's see if T. Cook can do that. She's wearing the star for West Virginia, going up against Pop-Tarts.
And we're going to have an official timeout on the track.
Going to reset and reshuffle things.
Of course, we'd like to give a shout out to Team Bananas, Maloik and Right Hand Man in Ohio, who have made it known that they are watching.
Oh, hello, Team Bananas.
You can give us shout outs on YouTube. We do look at the comments, unfortunately, sometimes, but no, we're kidding. You guys are actually being a great audience this morning. We've enjoyed everything here. We've enjoyed this game. I've enjoyed you, NJ,
yes.
Calling with you, as always. And, of course, our producers. Had a great time at this entire tournament. Of course, Bucksmont
have been fantastic hosts.
Every year. Fantastic hosts.
Chad throwing some shade at us.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a microphone on him, so you can't hear it. But it's great. It's great material. But probably better left off the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few years ago when he did this, we had that third mic set up for Chad, so he could jump in with that. But so we will be getting back to the action in just a moment.
Jammers remain the same.
T. Cook and Pop-Tart. Both jammers still inside the pack, and T. Cook with one to be quads of chaos with a great hit, followed by a second hit by Lucky Charm, excuse me. That was magically blockalicious. And Pop-Tart is through for lead jammer Tennessee. Big time to do that.
Her 8th of the game. 23 points working with. T. Cook makes it through. The last one to beat was Quads of Chaos.
4 points for Pop-Tart and Tennessee. Now T. Cook, after completing the initial pass,
going to eat up as much clock as possible before calling it off.
Yeah, she waited till she was just about to hit that pack. Smart move, because even though there's only 3.5 remaining, Derby fans, you know as well as we do, no lead is safe. No 33-point lead is safe.
We've seen it. We've seen
it. We've seen 33-point jams.
We've seen a 40-point jam this weekend.
It ain't easy, but it's happened. So we're going to have Goldie and Flux Decapitator as the jammers of note on the line.
I really like this jammer matchup a lot.
Absolutely. Power and speed together against one another. Oh, Goldie looked like she was about to get through. She does get through, loses her footing, but is lead jammer. Flux right behind her.
That is 4th lead jammer for Goldie.
Yeah, she has
36 points.
She wasn't in that main jammer rotation initially, but they've been using her a lot here in the second half. As she loses her footing, calls it off because Flux is in there. I believe 4 points for Tennessee, 2 for West Virginia. But with time winding down, that just makes it so much tougher because they got the 2 extra points and they took more time off the clock.
Yep.
It's going to be She Rolls By.
Taking on Jen Pinion.
Of Tennessee, yeah.
2.5 minutes left in the game. West Virginia is going to need that miracle here. They're going to need that power jam.
And let's see if they'll get it, or if they won't, or if it goes against them. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know. We can't predict the future. If we did, we'd win the lottery every week.
Seriously. Or bet a lot of money on this. There is Jen Pinion getting pushed out. She rolls by, 1 to beat. It's Quads of Chaos, who's doing a great job as a blocker in the second half. After she got in foul trouble in the first half, really doing a great job recovering. And actually will be going to the penalty box for a low block. Never mind.
You had to open your mouth, didn't you?
Yep, my bad. That's her 6th penalty, I believe. But with time winding down, Jen Pinion now inside the pack again on a scoring pass. Or I'm sorry, she rolls by as the lead jammer.
This is her scoring pass.
This is her scoring pass. Jen Pinion takes off the star, but is way past the pivot, so she's not fooling anyone. She rolls by inside the pack on a scoring pass, just trying to play clean and patiently.
Shy rolls up to the front of the pack, but Tennessee
Just over a minute left.
We can safely say Tennessee is a little bit safer position right now, thanks to some good Tennessee defense on this jam. And Cupcake Cadaver. Oh, and now we see a track cut being called, and she rolls by. The door is closing ever so more for West Virginia and Chad's argument.
So we'll have a hot seat situation there.
So both jammers in the box.
Cut track, both cut tracks.
You both cut the track. You both go to the box. It's
Yes.
a race to the box to see who can get out of the box first. And she rolls by, takes a hit as she comes back on the inbound with time winding down. It won't go the full 2 minutes because both jammers got a penalty. I believe there should be some points awarded. None for Tennessee, but 5 for West Virginia. West Virginia's going to call a timeout. And they're going to try to see what they can do with one more jam left now. 153, 123, 30 points separating these two teams.
Again, not out of the realm of possibility.
As Kevin Garnett once said, and the Lonely Island repeated, anything is possible. Tough, but possible.
That's one big power here, big jam away.
Remember, coming up next, we have Ohio and Michigan in our 37th game of the tournament. Yeah, that's 37 games. Followed by our first semifinals matchup of Pennsylvania and New York, and our second semifinal matchup of Colorado and Massachusetts. Massachusetts just so good this year.
Yep. We're just getting started here, folks.
Yeah, they played that great game against Michigan with the upset, but you know those two teams very close in skill, and it showed in that game.
And even though we have 17 seconds left, it looks like the penalties did catch up with Quadza Chaos. She has fouled out as she is over on the sidelines. Pop-Tart wearing the star for Tennessee.
Yeah, and what will probably be our final jam, I don't know if you can hear, but the West Virginia bench is rumbling. T. Cook with the star for West Virginia. There's a hole open in front of her, but no, it is someone got a penalty.
Someone got a track cut.
That's T. Cook with the track cut, and lead jammer goes to Pop-Tart, and folks, I think she's trying to figure out if she just wants to call it. She will, and that's going to be the game. No points on that jam. 153-123 is your unofficial final. We will be back with MVPs in just a moment, but Tennessee, in their first year, doing pretty well.
Very, very well. I'm very impressed with Tennessee.
Yeah, beating a veteran team, West Virginia, for their final game. We will go grab our MVPs, and we will be back in just a moment. I'm Champ Unkind.
I'm New Jersey Knight. We'll be back with MVP interviews in just a bit.
I'm Champ Unkind here with Tawanda Woman, West Virginia MVP. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I'm a little surprised and excited for the opportunity.
Well, you got a lot of lead jammers. I believe you led your team in lead jammer. What was the difference? Why were you so successful at doing that?
Oh, I think I was successful because I kept getting back up. I tried not to get tired or let myself get defeated. So I just kept having fire in my heart to keep pushing.
It's great, and that was some tough blocking out there. You got to give Tennessee all the credit in the world for that. So how were you able to find those holes? What was your secret in this game?
I think my secret was I tried to be quick on my feet. My teammates were telling me to shoot for the middle, and when I did that, when I kept my head up, I was able to get through and follow my offense. So it was my teammates helping get me to be the best jammer I could be.
And we've been talking about this a lot, and West Virginia, so much improvement over the last few years. We've seen it progressively happen. We know what's going on. We've talked about so much of the teams in West Virginia. What do you think has been the biggest difference this season?
Such a big difference for West Virginia is that we've been playing together for so long, and we have just been building such a pool of old skaters, veteran skaters, and I'm lucky to be a rookie with a lot of experience and time of knowledge. So that wealth of knowledge has been growing, and I'm a part of a decade-long fight to get West Virginia where it is today. So I'm really privileged.
You guys have been working hard, and congratulations, it's showing. Well, there's that, and here's your handshake. You're welcome. Congratulations. I'm Champ Unkind. Have a decent day.
Your MVP for Tennessee, beast mode. Oh, we were just saying on the call there, every time we saw a vertical West Virginia go vertical and hit, it was usually because of beast mode. So what I always like to start to get to know the MVP, just exactly why are you called beast mode, and why is 100?
I actually had an old Derby mentor when I first started say that her husband wanted to throw Skittles at me. I didn't get the reference, but they told me to go look up Beast Mode from the Seattle Seahawks. And every time he comes off the line after like annihilating everybody, they throw Skittles at him. So now I have Skittle everything, skates, all.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't see you got Skittle skates.
Back home, I pass out Skittles to the kids.
Take us back to the bout there. Solid defense by you and all of Tennessee. I saw that it was Chattanooga mostly encompasses Tennessee. How did you incorporate, you being from Clarksville roller derby, how did you incorporate your defensive style with their defensive style? Since
I moved away and just came back, I didn't get to practice a whole lot with them, but I just really try not to go in trying to run everything and just kind of try and mesh with everybody else. I really like playing mixers and things where I meet people for the first time, so I have to adjust really quickly, and I think that helped me mesh with Chattanooga. And they have the same playing style too. So a lot of those girls, they know what they're doing. I know how to fit in, so I think that's what that was all about.
And you definitely fit in, you definitely hustled. A well-earned MVP for Beast Mode here. Your MVP for Team Tennessee, your last MVP for Tennessee for the weekend. Anyone you would like to shout out?
My mom, my dad, no, my sisters, my team back home, everybody, all my Derby friends. I love everybody.
Yep. She loves herself some Derby. She's on her way home. 13-hour drive, I hear.
Yes, yep, 13 hours. It was worth it, though. I had a blast.
Always a blast with Derby. Once again, MVP Beast Mode. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.